Oh, it's. Let's be honest. It's fake. It's manufactured outrage. I know the guys. I mean, literally not all there, but this is not one I'm going to spend a lot of time getting up in arms over. Maybe you will, and we're here for you at 913-408-7710. But I'm just not going to do it. So, a lot of people on the right side of the political aisle are freaking out because yesterday it came down that Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader, has quietly directed the Senate Sergeant at Arms to no longer enforce the chamber's dress code for its members, which, used to be basically business attire. Jacket and tie for men was kind of the way you had to dress in the U.S. Senate. Well, that now allows John Fetterman, he's the guy who's a U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania, the guy who wears gym shorts and hoodies, he now can essentially wear that into the U.S. Senate, which is insane to think, but he could now do it. So he was elected last year. He initially followed the Senate tradition and wore suits, but since returning to the Senate after being treated for clinical depression earlier this year, he has now been seen sporting the casual look that he was known for as Pennsylvania's lieutenant governor. And that would be a hoodie and gym shorts.
We'll call it the Belichick.
Yeah, that works. The Bill Belichick look. Although even Belichick puts on pants. This guy,
well, there's that. Yeah.
Literally he's wearing gym shorts that look 10 years old. Now, do I want my senators wearing hoodies and gym shorts in the U.S. Senate? No, I don't. They look like unprofessional bums. But to manufacture outrage, our senators must wear suits and ties. Why? Because they're important? Air quotes? Because we put them on pedestals that they don't deserve to be on? Like, why? Everything else in culture has gone to dressing down, right? Now, in radio, naturally, we dress down. That's just kind of how it works. Mark wears a hat to work every day, and we allow it. And he looks good in his hat, I must add, as well.
Thank you.
I can't envision Mark without his hat. Mark sometimes doesn't wear a hat, and I'm like, get a damn hat on your head. This doesn't look right. So we're used to that in radio. But even I've noticed, in corporate America, on the business side of things, COVID changed a lot of things. I mean, who wears a suit and tie to work anymore? You used to wear a suit and tie on the airplane. Remember those? I mean, I remember being a kid, and people wear a jacket on airplanes. Now, if you wear a jacket on an airplane, it's like, what's he got, a bomb under there? Like, no one. Literally now, if you wear anything but gym shorts and a hoodie on an airplane, it's like you look at the guy and say, what's wrong with you? Like the culture has changed. I don't think we need to be in a scenario or a situation where people are wearing suits and ties on the U.S. Senate floor. Oh, the high and mighty, the elites, and they must wear their suit and tie. I'm okay with a little more casual look. My problem with Fetterman is that he literally looks homeless. That's my problem with
Houseless.
Fetterman. Unhoused, right?
Unhoused, that's it.
Unhoused. But I'm not going to do the whole, oh, boy, how dare they allow these guys to not wear jackets and tie? Oh, they've got to get their jacket and tie on. I mean, yeah, I think it looks good. But, man, we got much bigger problems in this country than who's wearing what on the Senate floor. And despite what people want to say, those two things are in no way related. They are not related. 913-408-7710. Because here's the thing. If there was, let's say there was a Republican in the U.S. Senate, right? And it was a good old boy from Kansas or Missouri, and he's like, I'm wearing my boots onto the Senate floor.
Sure.
I'm wearing my flannel shirt and jeans, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. How many of you would be like, yeah, man. Oh, right. Yeah, stick it to the man. Mm-hmm. Bring some regular, everyday Main Street America to D.C. So you can't do Fetterman's wearing a hoodie, I'm very offended, because if it was a guy on the other side of the aisle, many of you would say, yeah, that's how the Senate should be. It should be like Main Street, not like Wall Street. So to be fair to Fetterman, who is a complete imbecile, in part through no fault of his own, the guy had a stroke, I will say that is not the problem that we've got in the U.S. Senate or in Washington, D.C. this morning.
Yeah, those two things aren't related, right? He had a stroke.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, people with strokes need to wear hoodies.
Right.
At least he doesn't have pulled up. I mean, he's pushing the dress code to get kicked out of a Taco Bell at this point, right? No shoes, no shirt, no service.
Where's Kenny Chesney when you need him? Stu, go ahead. You are on KCMO. Stu, going
Hello.
once. Go ahead, Stu. Make your point, my friend. What's happening?
Oh, well, I didn't know it was my call. Thank you so much. I have mixed feelings about this because, on the one hand, it just indicates a trend in society away from dignity and taste. You see people out in public going shopping essentially in their pajamas. And I'm not thrilled with that. But on the other hand, it gives our politicians a chance to show their true colors. And I wonder how many of them are going to show up in their Che Guevara T-shirts.
That is true. Some of them are going to do that. You're right. Oh, gosh. Paula is an independent. Hey, Paula, good morning.
Hi, good morning. So I agree that wearing your clothes or being casual doesn't necessarily affect how the Senate is ran, but it just kind of, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but, it's more of a respect for what the title is. And otherwise, why don't we let our men grow ZZ Top beards and dye our hair purple and, just really take it to the casual extreme if we're going to go that way. I think it's just more of keeping the standard that we've all want from our elected officials.
Mm-hmm. And Paula, in a perfect world, and probably even 5-6 years ago, I would totally agree with you. But the lack of respect any of these people have for their jobs anymore, for their positions, and frankly, for the American taxpayer, I don't need them pretending to care about us by wearing a jacket and tie.
That's true. I agree with the pretending part.
Yeah. Paula, have a great day. Thank you. They insult us every single day at every turn. So would it make me feel better if they dress nicely as they insult the American worker and the American taxpayer? No. Like, if you're going to insult me, just go full Fetterman, right? With the hoodie and the sweatpants. Just at least tell me and show me that you're insulting me as well, while you vote for policies that also insult me. Now, speaking of Fetterman, did you see what he said? So he's been criticized by a lot of people, a lot of Republicans. He's a far-left Democrat in the U.S. Senate. Republicans are using it as a talking point. And as I noted, there's plenty of things to criticize this guy for. But I think that this is classic politics, where if it was a guy on the right wearing his boots and his jeans into the Senate, people would say, yeah, that's a real man. But because it's Fetterman, we find a reason to knock the dress code thing. But this guy is trying to criticize Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I'm not going to sit here and tell you is my favorite person in Congress by any stretch of the imagination. But take a listen to how Fetterman tries to insult Marjorie Taylor Greene for criticizing him for wearing a hoodie and gym shorts on the Senate floor.
What do you say to that?
Well, her platform, really, she runs on more and more dingling, picks, on in the meetings over in Congress. What? So again, I'm not really sure why she cares how I dress, but she really takes it a different way.
What? That was on Chris Hayes on MSNBC last night. Responding to Marjorie Taylor Greene's concerns over the Senate changing its dress code, John Fetterman says her platform runs on more and more dingling, picks, on in the meetings over in Congress. What? Boy, that's a bombshell of a report.
Talk about a bombshell.
Gosh, I learned something new. Marjorie Taylor Greene dingling picks?
It's in that great administrative scramble, like you've got words on the refrigerator door and you just move them around. It's like KJP, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden.
MTG.
Just scramble the words up.
As long as we're not sending our best, we might as well let these people dress like they act.
Sure.
Like Lauren Boebert, getting kicked out of that play in Denver dressed like,
It seemed like there was a TV show where somebody wore sweatshirts, and so then the thing became to send him yours. Like we'd get a KCMO AM sweatshirt and send it to Fetterman. Here, put this one on. Well, see if we can get him on camera.
Maybe we can get Holly to do that. They can wear whatever they want.
There you go.
I'll send Josh Holly a KCMO sweatshirt. I'd like her to wear
shorts on Josh. That'd be
yeah.
Some Adidas shower thongs and everything. Right? Get the whole look, man.
I bet you Roger Marshall would wear a KCMO hoodie if we sent it to him.
Yeah,
I think he would do it. Might as well give it a shot. Make him say no.
Make it bright yellow too.
Yeah,
so it'll stand
out. We'll take all the free publicity we can get here on KCMO Talk Radio. Hope you download the KCMO Talk Radio app, by the way, as you get into the office this morning. That way you can keep listening to the show. Tirade Tuesday is 20 minutes away. Do not miss it. Start thinking about your tirades. All right, before you get to the office. 20 minutes here on KCMO Talk Radio. I didn't know this. So we're just talking about the Senate changing its decorum, courtesy and thanks to John Fetterman, who can now wear gym shorts and a hoodie. He's the Pennsylvania U.S. Senator who had the stroke last year and somehow ended up winning the race. On the text line here, a couple of you have noted that colleges and universities would send in sweatshirts for Tim Allen to wear on Home Improvement. I didn't know that. That's pretty good. That's great.
That was the one I was thinking of, yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to bring that back now that they can wear hoodies. We're sending Roger Marshall, Josh Hawley. We'll send them hoodies to wear.
I thought that he was always wearing Michigan because he was a Michigan guy, Detroit.
Yeah, he did have a lot of those. And the reason, some of you are asking, what about Jerry Moran? I mean, I would send Jerry Moran one. He's a friend of the show. But Jerry Moran's the kind of guy, I think Jerry Moran sleeps in his suit. Like, I don't think Jerry Moran will ever be seen without a suit on. I just picture Jerry Moran getting into bed with a suit on his body, even his shoes, and just like sleeping there and then waking up and, maybe changing the tie and doing it all over again. That's just how he seems. It's not bad or good. It's just kind of how I envision Jerry Moran. I think he's permanently in a suit. I think it's like glued to him.
Like Trump.
Yeah, in many ways. Although I think Trump looks great, and I say this from a purely heterosexual perspective. I think Trump looks great when he drops the tie, undoes a button or two, and just goes open collar. I think he looks like I think he looks great when he drops the tie. The tie just, I don't know, gets a little stuffy sometimes. But when he drops the tie, I think it looks good. And Eric Schmidt, the other U.S. Senator in Missouri, he's one of the new guys, so he should probably just, play ball for a little bit, I guess. I would send Eric Schmidt a hoodie, but it's got to be like a triple XL because the guy's like 6'8" or something like that. So I'd have to get a special size for him. So if I send it to Hawley or Marshall, I think they're our best bets right now to rock a little KCMO gear. On the text line, 913-408-7710. Pete, there's dignity in the way people dress and consequently behave. Is there, though? Is there? I mean, I've been watching these guys and gals wear suits for a long time, and all I can tell is they keep railroading all of us. Quentin Lucas, our mayor here in Kansas City, he's kind of like Trump-esque, where he's always in a suit. Mm-hmm. He goes to midnight basketball in the urban core, and the guy's in a suit and tie running up and down the court. So if you think that there's a correlation in the way people dress and behave when it comes to politicians, remember, we're talking about politicians here. I'm just not buying it. Some of the most honest people that I've ever met in my life have probably never worn a suit in their life. So I don't buy that for a second. And I'm not going to do the faux outrage over Chuck Schumer dropping the dress code for the U.S. Senate. I'm not going to do it. On the text line, 913-408-7710, which is how you join us on KCMO. This is, I appreciate you guys thinking of me over the weekend. Pete, I want you to know I held strong on Saturday. My girlfriend's sister's wedding had an open bar, and all they had was Budweiser and Bud Light. So I didn't drink. And everyone there was drinking it like water. It had me wondering if I really want to be a part of their family. That's tough sledding, man. Here's what I would say. I don't know where the rest of the family is politically, but you stood firm, you stood strong. That's a tough spot, by the way. You're going to your girlfriend's sister's wedding, and you stay sober the whole time to not have a Bud Light. That is dedication right there to the cause.
I do respect that, but at the same time, if it was already paid for,
Well, that's what people have said. If it's already paid for, then just drink it, because as long as you're not paying for it, that's what really matters. But you know what? I am not going to knock somebody for holding firm like that. That is a tough spot to hold your ground on and hang on to your principles. You're able to avoid the Bud or the Bud Light at your girlfriend's sister's wedding. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people there that, you're not looking to make small talk with.
That's your first step in beer snobbery, trust me.
Yeah. Well,
what do you got? Oh, never mind, water.
Here's what we learned from this, though. There's something to learn from this. What we now have to do is start thinking ahead and planning ahead on these weddings. Try to find out, especially if it's someone you're close to, if it's your girlfriend's sister's wedding, you can do a little digging. Hey, what are they serving at the bar at this wedding? And then you got to pack the flask. Back pocket with the flask, that's got to be the play. And if that's what we have to do in 2023 to hold firm on our principles, then you know what? That's what we got to do. So, John, thank you for teaching us all a lesson this morning, a very valuable lesson on this Tuesday morning. It is time to not just check on the dress code for weddings, but check into what they're serving at the open bar, and if you're going to have to bring in the reinforcements. So thank you for that, John. We appreciate you, buddy. Way to go.
Such a nice man.
Took one for the team. You got to respect that. Helping us all learn a lesson here on a Tuesday morning. Coming up, Tirade Tuesday. We do it every Tuesday morning at 8:30. It is your chance to tee off on anything and everything that you want. Life, news, politics, doesn't matter. There's no right answer on Tirade Tuesday. It's just whatever you got to get off your chest. 913-408-7710. The lines are open.